So yeah, you should have seen me here in this very spot here last week, trying to figure out what in the hell was going on.
Well, I'm sitting there and I'm like, normally he at least gives
Yeah,
me a heads up if something's going on. Like, it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
yeah,
Like, what the hell is going on?
yeah. No, So I boot up the old laptop like I normally do, and I didn't even. It took me a minute. I started setting things up, and then I was like, all right, put my headphones on for something. I think I was just gonna listen to this music while I got things, pictures downloaded and
Do a couple moonsaults, keeping with the theme here.
yeah, exactly. And I there's just this awful like buzzing interference noise in my headphones. I'm like, what in the? And I'm like unplugging, replugging, like everything. I'm like, what is going on? And I knew it was coming from my interface here that everything plugs into, and I'm like, what the hell? So finally, I'm like, all right, I did the old Google, and it's like they're like, if you're using a laptop and you're getting a bunch of buzzing, unplug your power cord, and if it goes away, then that's the issue. And sure enough, I unplugged the power cord, and it went away like that. I'm like,
Yeah, and you figured it out like 45 minutes after we were supposed to record.
yeah. And I'm like, okay. So I ordered a new power cord from old Amazon and got it Friday and hooked it up, and I'm like, there's nothing. There's the beautiful sound of silence now. So I'm very happy we got that figured up. So that's why there was no show last week. Sorry, everyone. I was really bummed too because I was really excited to talk last week, but I'm just as excited to talk this week because there's a bunch of good stuff. Both companies, I think, are got some good stuff going. I'm actually looking forward to Revolution.
I will fully admit I watched the promo from Friday.
Yeah.
And I've watched a little bit of Raw, but I've been largely tuned out since the press conference from a couple weeks ago.
Got since the kickoff.
Yeah. And not in a sense of like, man, this sucks, I don't want to watch it. Just like, I know the pattern they're in right now, and I know they were building up to Chamber, and I got the gist of what's going on.
Sure. No, totally.
But AEW, couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you all that's going on over there.
Well, I will fill you in because there's a lot of good shit, actually. The Revolution card is shaping up to be a dandy. And I'm, like I said, for the first time in a long time, I'm looking forward to an AEW pay-per-view. So let's just start there. And I'll just kind of go through this. It was funny, both Raw and Dynamite both opened and closed with banger matches. And we'll talk about Mondays here a little bit later, but
isn't that always how Dynamite has traditionally
Sure.
And like,
sure.
We're gonna get into it, and not to crap on your excitement for Revolution, but don't they always kind of like, you always kind of know like the show's gonna deliver in the ring, but it's all the stuff leading up to it.
But see, that's just but I think the lead up is better. That's why I'm excited. The lead up to some of these matches has been really good, including the women's world title match. Like the build up between Deonna and Toni Storm has been fantastic. Lot.
I've seen the clips of the split.
Yeah.
That's definitely innovative.
Yeah. Like Toni went and got, a tattoo altered just for because they have her and Deonna have matching tattoos on their ankle. And that's been part of the story of Deonna's like, I don't like you're my friend. I don't know who this timeless Toni Storm person is. Like, what the hell's the matter with you? And so to kind of like prove a point or whatever, one of Toni Storm's short films from a couple weeks ago was her like getting an alteration done on the tattoo on her ankle.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. No, it's like I said, it's been really good stuff. Before we talked about the main matches, there's everyone's been going on about the Wardlow promo. I thought it was very paint by numbers. I'm excited for this to see what this Meat Madness match is going to be, though. Like, I'm very intrigued.
Excuse me, you want to repeat that to me?
I believe it's called Meat Madness. And it sounds like it's just, as of right now, it's Wardlow and Hobbs. And I'm assuming like Miro or some of the other big beefy sons of bitches is going to be in it. And it's just going to be all the big bruisers just beating the holy hell out of each other.
In theory.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I saw the clip of Wardlow obviously doing his best to get it right. Like, it seems like that's the only thing they know how to do to try to, like, get a shock value right now, is have someone go out and make mention of WWE or Punk. And, like, it's just, I don't know. Wardlow is already, like, an afterthought, and seeing that is just, man, this guy really just doesn't have anything other than they let him squash everybody. Yeah.
It's not, and it's, you know, it's not his fault. It's their fault for continuing to drop the ball on him. You know, the one thing he did say that I agreed with is, like, 2 years ago, he was the hottest thing in the company, and they just kind of meh. They got him to the point where they had him beat MJF, and after that, like, they just, like, forgot about him, which is something that they tend to do with everybody.
But again, and this has been a huge problem with the company. We talk about it all the time. That dude has always got something wrong with him. If you're Tony Khan and you're trying to build long term, and you've got a guy that's hot, but every 6 weeks he comes in, oh, my knee's banged up, oh, my shoulders, oh, my elbow. Like,
yeah, but Tony,
he's not. Hold on. If he were Kenny Omega, or Punk is a perfect example, someone who walks in the door and immediately people care about, Wardlow's not there yet.
Sure.
And it's really hard to push him to the upper echelon if you can't count on the guy for weeks at a time, because he's always got something wrong.
Sure, but to be fair, Tony started dropping the ball with him before the injuries started creeping up.
It still doesn't change that when he came back and they heated him back up, he got hurt. Then he did the thing with Joe, and he got hurt.
Right. And then they set up Danny Garcia versus Christian at the pay-per-view for what?
Oh, just that Christian. I saw that promo.
Yeah. I mean, it's too bad Sting's retiring. Sting in his promo said his dad just passed away last week. So, but anyways, so that's hopefully Danny gets his moment at the pay-per-view, but I think they're going to keep the belt on Christian, unfortunately. And then
what do you mean, unfortunately?
No, it's not. That's not an unfortunately of, like, I want to get the belt off Christian. It's I'd really like to see Daniel Garcia get that next step, bump up. But
again, I thought they did that 2 years ago, or what would it be? Yeah, 2 years ago, when they had him beat Bryan, but they never did anything with it. Like, the problem with that company is there is no next step, because they forget about you as soon as they level you up. I think that's part of the reason why so many people are surprised Swerve is in the spot he's in. And
right.
Swerve is an example of a guy they heated up and then forgot about for a while.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then, you know, we didn't get a chance to talk about it last week, but it sounds like Okada's coming in. We know Ospreay's coming in, so that's just going to even, you know, add to the. It's a very interesting thing, is that, you know, everyone's talked about not wanting these guys to go to WWE because of them being quote unquote just another guy or lost in the shuffle or whatever there. And I'm like, I mean, looking at the top of the AEW roster, like, it's a pretty big logjam there. Like, they're running into the same issue. So That's what happens when you've got all this talent with only two major companies. But anyways, and then I thought the Sting and Darby promo was really good last night too. Some people are saying it's the best promo of Sting's career. I don't know about that, but
shut up.
I don't agree with that. But it was good, and it's hard to like. It hit me like, oh wow, we're like 10 days away from Sting's last match, like, so, but like I said, the show was bookended. We opened with FTR versus Mox and Claudio, just excellent tag team wrestling match, and it ended in a draw, and they kept fighting after the bell had to be separated, even got into it backstage. So I'm guessing we're going to get a rematch at the pay-per-view with some sort of stipulation, either 2 out of 3 falls or something like that. Which I'm perfectly okay with. I'll watch these 4 guys wrestle all the time.
Sure.
Like it was really good stuff. And then the main event was a trios match with, on one side we had Samoa Joe, Swerve, and Brian Cage. And on the other we had Hook, Hangman, and RVD. And what I loved about this match and this whole title thing is that we talk about it so often in these blood feuds about when the person's singular focus isn't on getting their hands on the guy they're in this blood feud with, and it takes us out of it at some point. Hangman is solely focused on taking out Swerve. He's like yelling at RVD and Hook both about like making sure they're hurting Swerve in the match. Like, don't focus on Joe, worry about Swerve. And like he passed, when he was in the match, he passed up a couple of opportunities to hit a move on who the legal man was, because he saw Swerve on the outside and wanted to do damage to Swerve on the outside. And he finally culminated in him powerbombing Swerve through the announce table. And then, and Joe ends up choking out RVD, which is a smart thing to do there. And, there's kind of like an injury angle, though, at the end of the night with Hangman holding his ankle and telling the cameraman not to shoot him. He's not hurt, but there seems to be some back and forth on whether he's got to miss the pay-per-view for another reason. That would really be a bummer. But yeah, whether it is the triple threat match or if he can't make it and it's just Swerve and Joe 1-on-1, I'm looking forward to that match at the pay-per-view.
I don't know. It seems to me that if it's an angle, it would seem to me that it's Hangman faking the injury so he can just screw Swerve, or that's how they'll do it.
Could be.
I'm not a fan of announcing a match and then doing an angle where you pull a guy out on the
True.
the week before the show.
Unless something came up like very last minute, trying to see.
I know. Good old Dave reported that him and Alvarez were speculating it was a broken ankle, and then like an hour later, people were like, "No, you idiots! Like it was an angle."
Yeah, no, I'm looking at the Fightful Select update that came out.
It's been a
today.
banner day for the wrestling journalism community and AEW news.
The Fightful Select update doesn't have anything about him missing the pay-per-view. It just says that it was an angle. So yeah, we'll see. So, but yeah, that was Dynamite.
And they're also angling towards Bryan and Kingston at the pay-per-view, right?
Sounds like it. Yeah.
I'm sure Ospreay will make his debut.
Ospreay's wrestling Takeshita. They're doing like a showcase of the Don Callis family.
Oh.
So
pretty good.
Yeah. So that'll be
speaking of guys they heated up and then just stopped using.
Right. Well, it's funny. A couple of those guys that we've talked about have something in common, and it's a certain guy that they've been involved with for the most part over the last couple of years. So, but
no, take your shot.
No, I'm just saying that the Jericho Vortex is a real thing.
It absolutely
is. It's way more of a thing than the Codyverse ever was. Like, at least the Codyverse was like guys like it was just him doing his own like. If Anthony Ogogo wasn't wrestling Cody, he wasn't going to be on the show. Like at least he wasn't like taken away from.
Look, the whole Codyverse thing. Like I obviously I'm not that guy, but yeah, he's not my guy. But you can't deny like he brought in friggin' Brody and made Brody look great.
Mm-hmm.
Brought in Kingston and got Eddie Kingston hired.
Yeah.
And Eddie Kingston's life changed because of it.
Yep.
He laid down for Malachi. He put over like the Codyverse was a thing, but it typically benefited someone other than him.
Yeah. So.
Which is part of the reason why I think he's not in that company anymore. But whatever.
Probably. Well, speaking of, let's go with over to the WWE side of things. You said you did see the promo from SmackDown, right?
I did.
What were your thoughts on it?
I thought it I kind of liked it, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. It's the best thing he's done in a long time.
Well, and if I had to guess, it sounded like Guy Wirtz was on his shit too. Like, I'm sure Bryan helped him and was like, dude, we got to go back to 1999, like a trailer park trash, and just go with that stuff, because even if it's cringy, all it's going to do is make people hate you more, and it's going to help with what you're trying to do here. So lean into it. It was one thing when he was trying to do it as a baby face, and it's like, dude, you're doing the same shtick. But when it's a heel and it's same shtick, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
At least in my opinion.
Sure.
I was a little disappointed that they talked up all this we're coming to show people what's going on, blah, blah, blah. They were on the show for 10 minutes and didn't even make like a challenge or anything. He just talked trash and said, I'm going to, put you down or whatever.
Yeah, I'm thinking that the tag match is going to get set up on the Grayson Waller effect at the Chamber on Saturday. But are you buying into any of the theories and the Easter eggs about how he was really, when he said, I'm going to make sure you walk out of WrestleMania a loser, he was looking at Roman.
Yeah, because he was looking at Roman.
And then, him putting up the L instead of the one finger for the bloodline is another, like...
Yeah. Do I think that's what they're doing? No, but if that's what they do, I won't be surprised at all.
Sure.
He's going to want to come out looking like wants to be a good guy when this is all said and done.
Sure.
Because he can't go back to Hollywood and go promote movies with the last thing wrestling fans remember is him screwing over the Golden Boy.
Right.
So I guess I just talked myself into believing it. Yeah, he's probably going to end up screwing Roman at Mania or before Mania.
See, I think it's going to happen. I don't think he's going to directly screw Roman. I think he's going to prevent the rest of the bloodline from screwing Cody again, is I think what's going to happen.
Yeah. I like the idea of the Cody squad and the Bloodline like coming together for a massive brawl the night before, and then that's where Rock makes the change too, makes the turn, and
I'd be.
And then the next night he comes out and stops the Bloodline from getting involved.
So I'm thinking they do the tag match on night 1, and I go back and forth on whether I think Cody should take the pin, even though he just took one on Monday, but I think he should take the pin to just really kind of sow the seeds of doubt. And then either in that match or in Seth's match against Drew the next night, Seth gets either Drew takes him out or he's incapacitated, so he can't be there to be his Cody's quote unquote shield like he wants to be. And then it's like, oh, Cody's all by himself, and then in the course of the match, Solo comes down, and then Rock it double crosses him and prevents Solo from hitting Cody with the spike again. And then but we'll see. For me, the only thing, it was the vest. It's the vest to me that's like, I don't think he's acting a heel, but I don't think he's really a heel right now. 'Cause when I think of him wearing those $500 shirts, I'm thinking of him after he leaves the corporation and is mega babyface.
No, because he started wearing the $500 shirts when he was in the Nation.
He started to, but
and I think that's what his throwback is. The Rock's here in his $500, $200 red bottom or $2,000 blah blah blah. I think it's just a play on whenever he's been Hollywood Rock. He's always wearing high-end clothes, and he doesn't come out in his brand new T-shirt.
See, I always associate maybe this is just when I think of him in the Nation, I think of him wearing a polo tucked into khaki shorts, wearing loafers with no socks, and a fanny pack.
I think he's wearing a purple shirt. He's holding the Intercontinental title in his arm, and he's talking about how much his clothes wear. For some reason, that image, I'm probably wrong, but I've got it in my mind of him doing that way back in the day.
Sure.
Way back before he was in the corporation.
Sure, but but he's definitely, because when DX does the spoof on the Nation, Triple H is wearing the shorts with the loafers with no socks. That part definitely sticks out to me. And then corporate Rock, I always go to the workout clothes. The black top. Yeah. And wearing the
he was hiding his
right
surgery.
Right, and then wearing the track pants over his tights and stuff.
Yeah.
So, and then like I said, when I think of the $500 shirts with the dress pants, and that whole ensemble, I'm thinking Rock and Sock Connection era. But
fair enough.
Maybe we'll see. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm going to take his advice, and I'm going to do my best to enjoy the ride instead of trying to figure out. I'm going to wait as best as I can to try and put the pieces together after everything is all said and done, instead of trying to put pieces together beforehand without really knowing where they're going.
I'm very curious. I'm not as turned off by the whole thing as maybe I was a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, for sure.
I really like this idea of the Bloodline having to face a Cody-built crew of people that he has relationships with now that also have had problems with the Bloodline, and he can say, hey, look, we need to come together, not just for me, but for Jey and for, Randy and all this stuff.
Sammy, and yeah. Mm-hmm.
let's put an end to this whole thing. And you know, you could even, like I said, you can even build that up to something where, like, the night before Mania, or the night before night 2, at night 1, it turns into this big, massive, like, brawl where it levels the playing field for the next night.
Yeah. I even was thinking that, I wouldn't be opposed, instead of they just did the 2-on-2, they did like a 4-on-4, and that way that because there's more people in the match, theoretically, that's less time.
More time.
That's less time each person needs to be in the ring, which lessens the risk of injury, theoretically. Because that's the only, like, thing that I have about this 2-night deal, is that if something goes wrong on that night 1 with either Roman or Cody, or even like Seth, you could get away with it because everyone knows he's already hurt. But man, if something happens to Roman or Cody on that night 1, that's really gonna suck. But you know,
says you.
Well, yeah.
I think it would be amazing.
I know.
To see them have to scramble.
I know you do.
Or oh no, he can't finish the story until next year.
I'd just give up at that point. I'm like, it's just not happening.
Yeah.
But anything else about the SmackDown?
No, not really. Did the Wings win?
They did. Showtime, baby. Woo!
Literally had a bet in earlier today for them to win tonight, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm leaving for vacation in a week. Let's go Red Wings. Woohoo.
Woohoo.
Well, so I guess moving to Monday night then, they really kind of set forward that the Bloodline is coming after anyone that they have issue with. And Cody took his first loss on TV since he's come back, huh?
First pinfall loss. He passed out to Brock, and then Jey is the one who got pinned to lose the tag titles. But yeah.
No, I'm talking about on TV, not because those were premium live events.
Sure. Yes.
Yeah.
So
I like the throwback to Mania last year, where Solo got him again. I think that's gonna play into down the road.
The exact same setup. Yep. No, I love.
Look, and I like that Drew got the big win. I think it's pretty clearly going to end up with Drew and Seth at Mania.
Yeah,
I think that gives them a couple really good options for the night, honestly.
Drew's like both Drew and Becky are like -2,000.
Yeah.
To win their chamber matches.
Oh, I better go get a bet in. I'm, when we've done this thing where we're trying to predict the card and things like that, and when it looked like Punk and then it wasn't, I was like, man, I don't know what to do. The way they've done this with Drew, I think it's great, because you could have Seth win and that just, he carries on with what he's doing, but you could also have him win and have Damian cash in, or you could have Drew win and have Damian cash in.
Bingo.
And so the options are outstanding here.
Yeah, that's the option I would go with. I would have Drew win, where he thinks he finally has his moment in front of the fans, and then Drew cashes in on him and beats him. And that just sends Drew even more over the edge.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then it's no longer, well, he had a bitch, and it kind of is, actually, because then he gets it, like, I only lost because of the stupid Money in the Bank. Like, I get screwed. You could almost redo the Bret Hart thing.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody screwed me.
Yeah.
Like.
Yep. So, but no, I'm other than that, I would just wrap up Drew, because he's He's gold online. Everything he's done the last like 2 months has just been phenomenal work.
And look, you could give him a nice little 6-month run, just in time for Punk to come back, and then you can have him beat Punk when Punk comes back before he drops the belt to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But you could get it. Imagine CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre at the Rumble next year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everyone would think Punk's gonna win, and you could go that way, or you could let Drew keep running with it. I don't hate it.
Mm-hmm.
That would get them through the Europe show too. This is all assuming Drew resigns, but yeah.
I would imagine if like he hasn't yet, but I would imagine it shouldn't be too far. Like
I don't know why he would leave.
Right. Given especially what we just talked about with AEW with the logjam there, like.
Unless it's honestly just a family thing. Like I can't do the schedule anymore, and they won't give me the Brock Lesnar contract, so I'm going to AEW where I get it anyway. Right.
Sure. So yeah, that Bloodline attacks and then that leads to the main event with Jey Uso challenging for the Intercontinental title. Jey should have said, "Thanks to the lame ass security, I'm going home." But no, this was, dude, they sold me a ticket. Like I thought for sure.
Were they in St. Louis this week?
No, they were in Anaheim.
Oh, okay. Anyway, you thought for sure what?
They sold me a ticket. Like I thought Jey was winning. Like he hit.
Oh really?
Yeah, he hit Gunther with like 3 straight super kicks and like 2 splashes. I'm like, oh, he's winning. And then Jimmy ends up ringing the bell. And I'm like, oh. At first, I'm like, wait, why are they ringing the bell? Like, there's no time limits here.
Yeah.
And then it was Jimmy. I'm like, oh. So, Gunther retains, and we're looks like we're heading for the brother versus brother showdown at WrestleMania.
Good for them.
Yeah. Heck yeah. I mean, this is something they talked about, like, I think the first time they talked about it was like last year, right before last year's WrestleMania, where they're like, we want to do a WrestleMania match against each other. So,
well, I'm sure they've talked about it since they were introduced to the business.
I like to see Rikishi get involved in some capacity.
So here's where I think this is going to happen. I think down the road, when they finally do Rock and Roman, that's where the elders get involved. You'll get Alpha and Sika and Rikishi. You can bring Tamina in. Like, you can work Naomi into the story at that point. Like, there's options there to get them in.
Sure.
And would it make sense, the Bloodline has done their thing forever, but The Rock goes and gets the elders, and then the elders are the ones that finally put an end to the chaos? It's kind of like Black Panther, where they're like, no, they have to fight it out. It's one-on-one.
Yes. You must be stripped to your superpowers, Dwayne, and fight. You
have to drink a can of Zoa to gain them back.
And they each take a shot of Terramana before the match.
Oh
starts.
Yeah, to toast it. Yeah, yes. They can toast to the. Yeah,
yes.
I like it.
Yeah. But yeah, so.
On the off chance that The Rock actually sees this, like, just send me a couple tickets to Mania. You can have the idea.
There you go. So yeah, that brings us to Saturday. The Elimination Chamber.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the other show.
Yeah. So there's only like 4 matches, I think.
This show looks crappy. I'm sorry. I'm not even gonna try to watch it.
Oh, I'm gonna. I'll be up. So probably.
I'm gonna. Obviously, I want to tune into the Grayson Waller effect. But as far as watching the individual matches, I mean, you just said Drew and Becky are 2,000, minus 2,000. Chamber matches in general I don't like them, so I'm not overly interested to see the match, and we know what's going to happen. It'll be cool to see the reaction that Raquel and Rhea get. That's going to be.
Oh, you mean Nia?
What?
Nia.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that should probably main event. To be honest.
Oh, you think so?
I would, but we've got we'll I mean, obviously Rhea's going to retain after she lifts Nia up and gives her the riptide, and everyone goes batshit crazy.
Banana.
Yeah.
No, we can't give tribute to him either. So.
Yeah, I know. Cancel the Royal Rumble.
That was good. I like that.
I mean, what was I saying? Yeah, I mean, Rhea's gonna retain. And then there's we've got the Judgment Day retain or defend. Well, they're gonna retain, but they're defending the tag titles against New Catch Republic, I guess is their new name. Tyler Bate and Peter Dune. But that should be a good match, though.
What are their names? New Catch what?
Republic. Yeah.
That's a terrible name for two really good wrestlers.
It's awful. It's awful, but that's what it is.
NCR versus DIY will be pretty good at some point.
Yeah.
Or DX, as it were.
Right.
God bless our truth.
No, dude. When they win the tag titles at WrestleMania.
Oh God, that place is gonna go ballistic.
They're gonna go nuts. They're gonna go nuts. Myself included. But yeah, and then the two chamber matches. See if I can do this off the top of my head. I know the men's one is easy because it's Drew, it's Randy, it's Bobby Lashley, it's LA Knight, it's Drew, Randy, LA Knight, Bobby Lashley, Logan Paul, and what was the last one I'm missing? Oh no. I had this. What? Who is it?
Is it Otis?
No, it's someone else Roman has beat. That's where, with the exception of Bobby, like everyone in the match has been someone that Roman's.
And it's not Sammy.
It's not Sammy. Damn it! I'm gonna end up pulling this up. I don't want to.
No, it's easy. Let's see if I can figure it out, because I have no clue what even the qualifying matches were.
It was Drew versus AJ. It was Sammy versus Orton. Oh, it's Owens. Kevin Owens is the last one.
Okay.
And yeah, like we said, Drew's gonna win that. And then the women's one is Becky, Tiffany Stratton, Raquel, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, and nope, don't got that one either.
Jeez,
I 5 out of 6. 5 out of 6.
Zoe Stark.
That's right.
Is it actually her?
No, I don't know. No, because she was in the Battle Royal. Elimination Chamber card.
Way to be prepared for this.
Naomi. Duh.
How could you forget?
There's always one for some reason. I shouldn't have forgot Kevin Owens either, but I did. So yeah, I mean Becky's gonna win, but I'm excited to see Tiffany Stratton in this spot right away. That's big for her.
Saw her TikTok earlier today.
Yeah.
I don't think I like her.
No.
Her voice annoys me.
Well.
Which is good for her character, right? Like.
Yeah.
But the social media influencer side of it, not for me.
She was, I believe she was trained by Greg Gagne.
That's awesome.
So. Yeah. But Toodles, yeah.
What are you said there's 4 matches announced? Which one are we missing?
It was the Rhea match, the tag team title match, and then the 2 chamber matches.
Oh yeah. Gotcha. It's interesting they're not doing anything with like Shinsuke and Sammy, considering they've been teasing something on Raw for a few weeks.
Yeah, I mean they just wrestled not this week, but the week before, and they might be wrestling again next week, so that could be part of it.
I didn't know if they announced. Yeah. I don't know. It seems like a really weak card for the show before Mania, or the PLE before Mania. In a place that's been dying for an actual pay-per-view for a while. Like, I don't know. It feels like a bigger name or two should have made it down there.
Well, that, or at the very least, like, you know, Bronson Reed probably should have been on the show. Indy Hartwell probably should have won that Battle Royal on Monday instead of Raquel. So she could have been in the match. I mean, you got Rhea and you got Grayson Waller doing his thing, but I feel like you should have just loaded everyone. Anyone and everyone who was Australian should have been on the card in some capacity, but what do we know?
Hey, you got to get the Undertaker on there.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, so that's that. Braun Breaker's making his main roster debut tomorrow.
Yep, saw that. It's kind of cool.
Yep.
Kind of curious that they're having Paul Heyman do voiceover work to promote him.
Well, so they had a thing a few months. I think it was on that Super Tuesday or whatever when they went head to head with AEW. They did a thing where it was Braun versus, I think it was Braun versus Mello.
Right.
And Heyman was in his corner. Yeah. Heyman was in his corner and Cena was in Mello's corner, I think, or something like that. And then Taker showed up at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. No, legit, it's curious to me that they're just continuing that relationship. I wonder if that's kind of a hint. A year and a half from now, he won't be the wise man anymore.
Right. We'll see. We shall see. So, yeah. Is there anything else?
Wrestling-wise, no. Not that I can think of.
All right. Did you, I know last week you said you had some Lions rumors or something you wanted to discuss.
Oh, God. I heard a million now.
Oh, okay.
It was the contracts, the rumors going around about what Goff and Amon-Ra might get.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you paid any attention to that.
Not really. I'm not going to worry about it till they sign him and I see what the numbers actually are. I mean,
right.
You're not going to not sign him. At least with Penny, they can exercise his 5th year right now and at least have him through next season and worry about negotiating with him next year. So this year you just got to worry about taking care of Jared and Sun God and go from there.
Sure. I apologize, but I smell something burning.
Oh, okay.
And I kind of think I need to go figure out what that is.
Yeah, sure. Definitely. Well, we can just go ahead and wrap up then. Unless there was something you were dying to talk about.
I had lion stuff to talk about.
Well, if you want to go just check real quick, and I'll vamp here while you go check that out.
Sounds good.
All right. While Matt's gone, I will remind you to leave a thumbs up on this video and subscribe to the YouTube channel here. On top of obviously the Kris and Matt's Wrestling Podcast here that we do every week. I have started doing my base covers. I've got, I think, 4 of them now. I got a new one posted on Saturday. Yeah, so I'm rolling with that. So I did Bon Jovi. I'll Be There For You for Valentine's Day last week. I don't know if you saw that or not, but
so I saw it pop up on my feed, but I did not watch it. Fully admit I need to.
Yeah, you don't, but
I try to support as best I can.
I appreciate that. So
I bring you down so much when I'm on this show. I should probably just in the background help you out.
Yeah. Don't worry about watching. Don't worry about watching this Saturday's video. So I'll just tell you that right now.
Oh, great. Update. Something was burning in my house. My daughter and wife burnt some toast. So.
How do you burn toast? Okay, cool.
I give up at this point.
Sure. So.
So back to the Lions.
Yes.
They did release Tracy Walker.
Yeah.
Not really a surprise.
No.
I think he got hurt at the absolute worst time he possibly could last year.
Mm-hmm.
He had played so well the year before. It looked like he was going to be a big part of the future, and then he got hurt and just couldn't get back on the field.
Yeah.
Too many other guys ahead of him now.
Well, he did get back on the field, but he wasn't the same. And he got
sure.
You know, I mean, that's how iffy got in the game finally, is because Tracy was just not cutting it back there.
Yep. That saved what, $5-6 mil on cutting him.
5.5, yeah.
So I like the move. I think they're gonna have to make a couple more like it, and people aren't gonna be happy. But I think some names that we expected to be back probably aren't going to be able to be back if they're going to extend Jared and Amon-Ra this offseason.
Yeah, I'm guessing at least Jonah Jackson won't be re-signed.
Which he's the one I would like to see them hold on to more than any of the others. But
but with Graham, you have the versatility where if Frank does end up missing time, Frank can slide over and play center.
You mean Graham slide over?
Yeah. Graham Glasgow can slide over and play if Frank needs to miss a game or two.
Yeah,
and Jonah's been hurt more than he's played. It feels like Jonah's been hurt more than he's played last year or this year.
I just feel like if you're building for the window like people are talking about, I think that's a guy that you can count on for 3 or 4 more seasons. I don't think Graham's going to be in the league that much longer. And I know, well, that doesn't help if he can't stay on the field, but you don't sign offensive linemen without knowing, like, there's a risk here. It's
sure.
A hazard of the position.
Sure. And honestly, all the talk, obviously the record when all 5 starters were together is undeniable, but I didn't think, and I don't even remember who it was now, but whoever it was that played in Jonah's place in the NFC Championship game, it's not like he did a bad job, I don't think.
Sure.
So
I think if they don't re-sign Jonah, they have to go sign a high-end guard. They have to.
Or they can draft one.
See, I feel like that offensive line is the biggest key to the whole thing running on offense. Jarrett isn't Jarrett if he's not protected. David and Jameer can't run like they want to if they're missing those guys. Like that, you add to that strength. You make sure that does not become less than it was before. You want to improve that because it's only going to make the entire offense better. And you might get away with letting a Josh Reynolds walk in order to make your offensive line strong, because when Jared's got time, it doesn't matter who he's throwing to, he's going to get it on target. He's going to make the right decision. I say that.
Sure, but I just think when you look at the cost, like I don't think signing Josh Reynolds is the reason why you don't sign Jonah Jackson. Like I don't think they're.
No, but I'm saying if they let Jonah Jackson go, that's fine. But they need to replace him with a high-end guard, and if that means you have to pay someone more than you thought you were going to have to pay Jonah, and it means you can no longer re-sign Josh Reynolds because of it, I think you still have to do that.
I think if they're gonna have to pay someone more than what they're gonna pay Jonah, then they're just gonna pay Jonah. Like, I think that there's going to be a number that they have, and if they can get it done for that number, great. If not, they'll look elsewhere, whether that's a free agent or a draft pick.
Sure.
So.
I'm not filling that spot with an unproven commodity. It's just, to me, you have to keep that a strength, that offensive line in general.
Sure, but I don't know. I trust the process. So, but yeah, we'll see. My main thing is like that'll that's one thing I'm interested to see how the improvements to the defense are made and where they're made and how. What they do in the draft versus what they try and do in free agency.
Yeah, I think we talked about it last time. CJ's gone. I don't think that's like insiders are starting to say like it's not looking good.
No.
So, which is fine. That's $8 million they can spend somewhere else. I feel like it really depends on who ends up being available, right? Like if L'Jarius Sneed and Jalen Johnson are available at corner, and Josh Allen ends up getting a deal done in Jacksonville, and who's the other rusher? I'm blanking on him. Another rush end comes out. Is a free agent.
Oh,
free agent
the one out of Minnesota. Is it Hunter?
Danielle Hunter?
No,
he's an older one. There's a younger pass rusher he's out there with Josh Allen, and I'm blanking on it right now. And it's not Chase Young either. Or one of the D tackles. There's been talk that Chris Jones could be interested in coming here. Chris Jones is an absolute monster. You sign Chris Jones and then draft another defensive end in the draft, and suddenly your defensive line is a lot more stout. Maybe your secondary holds off a little better. Like there's options.
Sure.
To me, it all depends on who's available. If those guys aren't available, then you got to look corner. But if there are no corners available, then hey, you got to go after a defensive lineman. One of those two positions has to be addressed.
Yeah.
In free agency before the draft.
Sure. I've seen a couple mock drafts so far, and they both have them taking a corner of some sort, whether it's Kool-Aid McKinstry or, the kid out of Toledo that everyone's talking up. It sounds like he's probably going to go, but by the time it's all said and done, he's going to go early, probably. So, yeah,
I'm not really interested in the mock draft process because you're 30 picks in at that point.
Sure.
You can have an idea, but
yeah, it's fun though.
It was fun when they were high picks. I'll take this over that anytime.
Sure.
I'd rather be bored with mock drafts than anxiously awaiting to figure out, oh, I'd really like them to lose a couple games so that my mock draft position is better when I mess around with this thing.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. So, are you planning on going to the draft?
I don't know. I want to say yes, like in theory, but then it's April. The weather isn't always great.
April in the D.
Right. I don't know. It's just like it's going to be a ton of people.
Yeah.
But also, it'd be great to be in the crowd to boo the ever living shit out of Roger Goodell. So.
Yeah. Yep.
When are it's like the 15th and the 16th, right?
The draft?
Yeah.
No, it's like the 28th and 29th.
Oh, it's the end of April.
It's the end of April.
For some reason, I thought it was the week after WrestleMania.
No, it's the end of April. It's like the 28th.
Gotcha. Maybe the weather will be better then.
Yeah.
But still, like, I don't know. Large crowd, like, you're going to be standing on your feet the whole time. I'm at that age where, like, if I can't sit comfortably for half an hour at a time when I'm out doing something, it really makes it hard for me to want to go do said thing.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. You got you just hit the nail on the head there. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's cool, seeing as it's here, it'd be cool to do, but it's the more you think about what all goes into it, it's like, do I want
just to watch some people get called on stage?
Sure. Yeah. I'm kind of
with us picking in 30, like they're not going to announce our pick till like 10:45,
11 at night. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's been a trade. The Detroit Lions
have traded out of the first round.
Right. Like, son of a bitch, I stood out here for 13 hours for nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So. All right. A few weeks we'll shift into weekly Yankees talk.
Can't wait. Got the Derek Jeter storylines in MLB The Show this year. I don't know if you watched the feature, but they confirmed the core four are in the moments. All four of them are.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Which means Bernie Williams is going to be playable on the game for the first time in a long time, which is awesome.
Yeah. It's so funny too, because before that I was thinking, you know what? And who am I kidding? If it's free on Game Pass again, like I probably would have downloaded it. But I was really thinking, I was like, yeah, maybe I won't get the game this year. I'm definitely probably not going to do the Diamond Dynasty this year, just because I can never put enough time into it to make, but I get like do really well for like the first few months, and then like shit starts happening and I don't have as much time to play, and then it's like trying to play catch up, and I'm like, never mind.
You can never keep up with the meta. Like, you can never keep up with having the cards you need to compete with the other big cards.
Sure. Yeah. And so this I can do. This I will definitely get the game now just for the Jeter storyline mode.
Yeah, I'm pre-ordering the deluxe edition, and the night it's my little ritual. I figure out which higher end edition I'm gonna get, and then I buy a 50-pack bundle on opening night. Sometimes I buy two, and that's my like starting point for like, okay, this is my squad. I should have big cards in my lineup that other people don't have, and I stay up for the midnight release. I'm 40 years old in a month, and I'm still just a big dumb nerd.
Yeah. And then we got college football coming back.
I don't know if that game's going to be that great. I have a feeling it's going to be one of those, they got to get 2 or 3 years into the cycle before they figure it out, you know. It's exciting that it's coming back, though.
I mean, yeah. So, speaking of, they released the 2K rosters for 2K24. WWE did.
They did.
And in regards to Brock Lesnar, it was reported today that he's going to be in the showcase. They said him, and there's a couple other people that they haven't named. It wasn't named in the report, but there's a couple of people that's going to be in the showcase mode.
What does 2K know that we don't?
Right. Well, yeah. I'm wondering if it's like if this WrestleMania 17 match was like going to be Vince versus Shane or something like that. Mm-hmm. But anyways, they're going to be playable as far as the showcase mode. Let me get the exact quote here because I thought it was an interesting way to put it. Something like historically significant or something like that.
Yeah, they're in that in the like My Story. There's some cutscenes that you can't avoid.
Regarding Brock Lesnar and some other names, we're told that there are some characters that are included in My Rise and Showcase that are considered historically significant, but will not be playable in the game outside of those modes. So.
It's a nice way of saying if we have to remove these people from the game, it doesn't come out for another 9 months.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So.
Realistically, it would probably delay the game by 4 or 5 months if they had to recode all that stuff.
I'm sure. So. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's a for this year. I think that's a fair compromise.
Yeah, you can't really blame them at that point.
Right. So, all right, let's get out of here.
There's a new Timberlake song dropping tomorrow. I don't know if you heard that.
I still haven't even listened to the first one yet. I've decided I'm going to wait till the full album. I'm just going to wait till the whole album comes out.
3 weeks. You'll be fine.
Yeah. We'll do a review here on the channel too. That'll be seeing as we're leaving for Philly on Thursday. We'll have to figure out our recording schedule, but in our normal time slot, we'll record that ahead of time and we'll drop that in our normal slot that week.
Like it.
Okay, cool. Glad you're on board. So yeah, that'll do it for this week. We'll be back next week with all the Elimination Chamber fallout and a Revolution preview and all kinds of good stuff. Busy time in the wrestling calendar. So yeah, that'll do it. And until then, see ya.